Miranda Summerton here again, and today we're going to have a look at emotional abuse. What is it? How can I recognize it? How do I know that what's happening is in fact emotional abuse? So emotional abuse is a tool to control another person through emotions, using words like criticism, embarrassing, shame and blame, or any other manipulative behavior. A relationship is emotionally abusive when there is a consistent pattern of abusive words and bullying behavior that affects a person's dignity and undermines their sanity. So mental or emotional abuse is most common in dating and married relationships, but can occur in any relationship, including with friends and family members and also even co-workers. Emotional abuse is one of the most difficult forms of abuse to recognize. It can be very subtle and insidious, or obvious and highly manipulative and loud. Either way, it eats away at the victim's self-worth, and they begin to doubt their own discernment and their own reality. The undeniable goal of the emotional abuse is to control the victim by discrediting, isolating, and silencing them. In the end, the victim feels trapped. They are often too wounded to endure the relationship any longer, but also too afraid and too weak to leave. So the vicious cycle just repeats itself until something drastic is done or happens. Emotional abuse is often very subtle. As a result, it can be very, very hard to detect. If you are having trouble discerning whether or not your relationship is abusive, stop and think about how the interactions with your partner, your friend, your family member, how that makes you feel. Do not fall into the trap of telling yourself it's not that bad and minimizing their behavior. Remember, everyone deserves to be treated with kindness and respect. If you continuously feel wounded, frustrated, confused, misunderstood, depressed, if you feel anxious or worthless at any time you interact with a certain person, chances are that the relationship is abusive. Emotionally abusive relationships, the abusers have highly unrealistic expectations. They make unreasonable demands of you. They expect you to put everything aside and meet their needs immediately, straight away. They demand that you spend all of your time together. No free time, no private time. They are dissatisfied no matter how hard you try or how much you give. It's never enough. They criticize you for not completing tasks according to their standards. They're expecting you to share their opinions. You are not allowed to have a different opinion, never. They demand that you name exact dates and times when discussing things that upset you. And when you can't, they dismiss the event as if it never happened. So you've got to say 1997, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it was a Saturday. It's ridiculous. When you can't do that, it never happened. So emotionally abusive people invalidate you. They undermine, dismiss, or distort your understanding of your reality. They refuse to accept your feelings by trying to define how you should feel. You're not allowed to feel the way you feel. No. They'll tell you how to feel. They demand that you explain how you feel over and over and over again. It's like brainwashing, they break you down. They accuse you of being too sensitive or too emotional or crazy. They refuse to acknowledge or accept your opinions or your ideas as valid. It doesn't matter. You're not important enough to have an opinion or an idea of worth, of note. They ignore your requests, your wants, and your needs, and labels them as ridiculous or just simply unmerited, unimportant. Ugh, just brush it off. They are clear that your understanding is wrong, or that you cannot be trusted by saying things like you're blowing this out of proportion or you exaggerate. They accuse you of being selfish, needy, or materialistic. When you express your wants or needs, they expect that you shouldn't have any wants or needs. So emotionally abusive people create chaos. They are master chaos creators. They start arguments for the sake of arguing. They make confusing and contradictory statements. This is crazy making at its best. They have drastic mood changes and sudden emotional outbursts. You are always taken off guard. They criticize your clothes, your hair, your work, and much more. In fact, everything about you gets criticized. Their behavior is so erratic and unpredictable that you feel like you have to walk on eggshells all the time. You don't know when you're going to step too hard and an egg will break and they'll explode, and you just try and stay out of trouble. Emotionally abusive people use control, emotional blackmail. They manipulate and control you by making you feel guilty. You're not guilty of anything, but you're guilty. You're guilty. They humiliate you in public and in private. They use your fears, your values, your compassion to control you or control the situation. They exaggerate your flaws. We all have flaws, but they make it larger than life. They point out your flaws in order to deflect attention from themselves or to avoid taking responsibility for their poor choices or their mistakes. They deny that an event took place, or they simply lie about it. They punish you by withholding affection or by giving you the silent treatment. Emotionally abusive people act superior and entitled. They treat you like you are inferior. They make it very clear. They blame you for their mistakes and their shortcomings. They doubt everything you say and try to prove you wrong. They make jokes at your expense. They tell you that your opinions and your ideas and your values and thoughts are stupid, illogical, or you don't make any sense. They talk down to you and are condescending. They use sarcasm, masters at sarcasm, whenever they interact with you. They act like they are always right. They always know best and that they are smarter. Emotionally abusive people attempt to isolate and control you. They control who you see, who you spend time with, including with friends and family. They monitor you digitally, including text messages, social media, emails, any platform that you are on. They will scrutinize it and find something. There will be nothing, but they will find something. They accuse you of cheating and are jealous of any outside relationship, no matter how innocent, no matter how platonic. They're jealous. They will take and hide your car keys. They will lock you inside of the house, in a bedroom. They demand to know where you are at all times and will even use GPS to track your every move. They treat you like you are a possession, a property. They criticize and make fun of your friends, your family, and your co-workers. They use jealousy and envy as a sign of love. It's because I love you so much that I have to control you. It doesn't even make sense. They coerce you into spending all of your time together with them. No free time for you. They control your finances. Emotional abuse can take a number of different forms, like for instance, accusations of cheating and or other signs of jealousy and possessiveness. There's a constant checking or other attempts to control the other person's behavior, like we said. Constantly arguing or opposing, criticizing constantly, gaslighting, isolating the individual from their family and friends, name calling, and of course, verbal abuse. Refusing to participate in the relationship, just withdrawing, shaming or blaming, the silent treatment, trivializing the other person's concerns. They will withhold affection and attention. These abuse tactics are never obvious when the relationship starts. These relationships start far better than any other relationship and appear normal and loving. But as the relationship progresses, the control and the manipulation starts so slowly that you may not notice them at first. Do not be deceived. When it is too good to be true, it is a giant big red flag. It is too good to be true. So as always, I leave you with this, that if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, nothing will be impossible for you. You don't have to stand for any emotional abuse. And if you see someone hold up this sign, someone is telling you that they are being domestically abused. They're in trouble. Get to know the sign. Help if you see it. Miranda Summerton saying, have faith.